Yo, what's up guys, AFC Dino here and welcome to a new video. Today I want to talk about why playing balanced is the best way to improve in Pokemon PvP. In this video I will refer to this as playstyles, but most people know this as archetypes. There are usually three archetypes. You have Hyper Offense, Balanced, and Stall. There are two in between though. You have Bulky Offense, and you have Semi-Stall, but those are basically the same as Balanced with a bit more of an offensive or defensive twist. So I just talk about three archetypes, refer to this as playstyles, and why balance is the best to improve. Before we start though, consider checking out my Patreon if you want to improve your PvP skills. I offer PvP courses. You can join basically one-on-one sessions with me, helping you tackle certain questions you have, certain things you want to improve on, or certain things I think maybe you could improve on. And you can also check it out for my team building support, as I help people building their own teams. And you can also just become a member to get access to my PvP teams, the ones I use in my videos and streams. I have the Pokebase there, and I have team building videos explaining how I built the team and what the function is of the team. You can also check it out there, and also consider subscribing if you haven't already, as I post content every single day, helping you guys improve. So definitely check it out. But yeah, without further ado, let's just hop right into the video. Let me open up the gameplay in the background, and yeah, so we're gonna explain the following thing: why playing balance is the best way to learn and improve in Pokemon PvP. Well, in Pokemon PvP there are only two actions you can take: attacking or defending. Well, there's also switching, but switching has the same function as well. Like, you can switch to defend against an attack, or you can switch to get a better position to attack your opponent. Yeah, the Hyper Offense playstyle focuses on attacking and winning quickly and overpowering your opponent, while the Stall playstyle focuses on defending and wearing down opponents over time. However, playing only one style can limit your knowledge of the other. To win consistently, you need to understand both attacking and defending. Hyper Offense is a playstyle that focuses on attacking your opponent and winning as quickly as possible. If the game goes on for too long, your team might get worn down and your chances of losing will increase. In this playstyle, you won't pay much attention to defending your opponent, your Pokemon. This is usually referred to as the most straightforward playstyle, which holds some truth to that statement, because the setup of most games is usually the same. You lead up with your Suicide Stealth Rock lead, set up the Stealth Rock, let your lead die, and then get in one of your damage dealers and try to either sweep or to overpower your opponent from there. I see a lot of noobs play this playstyle, and the games go really fast, but in a lot of cases they don't even know why they won a game. They're just trying to set up with their Pokemon right from the get-go, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and they just usually don't know why they won or why they lost. Yeah, for me it's the most straightforward playstyle, and probably the easiest one to play actually. Next one, we have the Stall playstyle. Focuses on defending. The goal is to outlast your opponent by gradually wearing down their Pokemon until they have none left. Your own Pokemon won't deal much damage, so you'll focus on dealing small amounts of damage over time and frequently switching out your Pokemon and using healing moves to keep your Pokemon healthy. This playstyle can take a long time to win, and you won't be focusing much on directly attacking your opponent. And yeah, a lot of players actually think playing Stall is easy, but try play Stall against a team you cannot break. For example, if you're not able to Toxic Stall your opponent due to them having a Gliscor, Ferrothorn, or an Amoonguss with a regenerated core, the games will just take long and you just don't know how to win. I see a lot of noobs struggling with this. If you're playing Stall and your opponent's actually prepared for Stall, you're gonna have a really bad time, I can tell. And with Hyper Offense, there's always a way to actually it's easier to identify what you need to do to win. That's why I think stall is actually more difficult to play than hyper offense on a higher level. But with this explanation, we can say that hyper offense is more proactive play, and stall is more reactive play. But a lot of with hyper offense, if things don't go your way, you're gonna have a bad time, and hyper offense is usually not able to adapt to unfavorable situations. Let's say if you're a noob and you're playing hyper offense and you're playing against stall, if they have a switch for every one of your attackers and you don't know what they need to do to win, then you're gonna have trouble breaking their core. And with stall, if you're playing against another stall team, if you don't know how to take charge in this game, how to make proactive plays to actually beat the other defensive team, then you won't have much success either. So yeah, if you only play hyper offense or stall, you won't be familiar with the other playstyle. But why is it important to understand both playstyles if you don't plan to use them in your PvP teams? Well, in order to win a game, you need to know what it takes to win. And you also need to know what your opponent needs to do to win. If you only know how to attack or how to defend, you might not know what your opponent needs to do to win. But if you do know what they need to do to win, you can prevent them from doing it, and this will increase your own chances of winning. An example would be when playing, let's say, a hyper offense example, when playing hyper offense. In order to win, you need to focus on killing your opponent's Mandibuzz, since it's the only Pokemon that can survive 2 hits from your Infernape. So your opponent will try to keep Mandibuzz healthy. But if you have never been in a similar situation like your opponent, you may not know all the possible actions your opponent can take. This can limit your ability to prevent your opponent from keeping Mandibuzz healthy. If you don't know which switches he can make to Pokemon that can actually threaten Mandibuzz, then you having a more difficult time winning. But yeah, let's watch the point of view of the stall player in this situation. Well, let's say my goal is to keep Mandibuzz alive and healthy, because if it dies, I'll lose to my opponent's Infernape. As long as Mandibuzz has more than 90% of its health, Infernape won't be able to kill Mandibuzz. If Infernape dies, my opponent won't be able to kill my defensive core. The only way I can defeat Infernape is by letting it take multiple Stealth Rock and Rocky Helmet damage, or by using a strategy called PvP stalling, which means forcing my opponent to run out of their most powerful attacks, like Close Combat, Overheat. Because if they don't have those attacks, then they cannot threaten Mandibuzz, for example. Well, if you don't know all the possible actions your opponent can take, such as setting up Stealth Rock and forcing you to switch into Mandibuzz while they perform a double switch, then you have limited options to prevent them from taking down your Mandibuzz. Because if they get up rocks, Mandibuzz takes 25% of their HP, and if they make a double switch into their Tyranitar, Mandibuzz is forced to switch out. And if he switches out, he doesn't heal, which means that now Infernape can actually kill Mandibuzz when it tries to switch in. And if you don't know as a defensive player that your opponent can make these kind of plays, then it's gonna be really rough. And on the other, and as the offensive player, if you don't know which switches your opponent can make to actually keep their Pokemon healthy, then it's gonna be rough for you as well. So yeah, basically, if you don't know all the possible actions your opponent can take, then you're gonna have a much rougher time. And yeah, to win consistently, it's important to know what your opponent needs to do to win and to be aware of their options. If you haven't been in a similar situation like them before, you may not know all the options your opponent has to win the game, which can lower your own chances of winning. And that's why playing balanced is the best way to learn and improve. Because the balanced play style focus involves using both defensive and offensive Pokemon on your team. And this will help you with focusing on attacking and defending equally. And if you know both aspects, you're gonna improve your hyper offense gameplay or your stall gameplay, definitely. And much faster as well. If you're only focusing on a hyper offense, you're mostly coin flipping, predicting 50-50s, while the stall play style just focuses on stalling my opponent and never taking charge. If you play against a similar team, but yeah, that's basically my take on this subject. Obviously, other people might not agree. People might think you just need to play a lot, so play hyper offense so you can play a lot of games. But if you do the same thing over and over again and it's not working, then yeah, you really need to do something about it. But I also recommend you watching my video on how to improve, and it's basically by reflecting. I explain a lot in that video. Yeah, for this video, that's basically it. Hopefully you understand my point of view. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Leave a like if it helps me with the algorithm, and subscribe as well to see more guides, to see more gameplay. And yeah, once again, check out my Patreon, guys. I have PvP courses, team building support, and you can even check out my own teams. So yeah, check it out. And thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful day.